Is Colby Covington back? What's going on, YouTube? We are talking about Colby Covington releasing this video talking to or adding Shavkat Rachmanov. Um, just basically, I'm not gonna play the whole video, but basically saying like he was gonna shut him up and that he's ready to basically fight him right after. And he's right now he's at a golf course right in Florida and saying that after this round of golf that he's gonna call Hunter and Dana and get that fight in the works. Obviously, we know Shavkat was supposed to be fighting Bilal in the main event December 7th, UFC 310. Bilal having to pull out because of a foot infection kind of left Shavkat at a standstill, right? Nothing has been announced really on like what's going to happen for this fight or if they're even looking for a replacement on this fight. Um, but with Kobe posting this, it sounds like they are kind of like in the works of looking for a replacement. At least Kobe is prepared for that replacement fight. Probably won't happen December 7th, right? A month away. Probably won't happen, especially going against Rachmanov, who's an undefeated fighter that's just kind of been um, destroying everyone. Hey, calm down. But we'll see what happens, right? Kobe saying like, hey, he's ready for this fight. He's ready to put on a show for us, right? A show. He hasn't really he hasn't really fought anyone since his last loss to Leon Edwards, which was last year, almost exactly a year ago. It was December 16th, right? So, um, yeah, hasn't really fought anyone, hasn't really been in the scene. We haven't heard of any like injuries or anything between these between with Kobe. Interesting to see what kind of happens from this. It was crazy to hear about in the first place because Kobe doesn't really. I mean, he's always trying to stir things up, right? But no one has really called out Rachmanov at all, right? He's someone that um, who recently said in a press conference that it was hard for him to get fights in the first place because no one really wants to fight him. Obviously, him being 18 and 0, right? For a reason, right? No one wants to fight him. We saw what happened with Neil Magny a couple years ago, where he just kind of dug deep and got a finish in that fight. But it'll be interesting to see what happens with Rachmanov and this event in the first place, right? Like what I guess Pantoja could go to the main event, going against Kai Ascaro, who's a one championship fighter, or was a one championship fighter now in the UFC. Or was it Glory? No, it's not Glory. Sorry. I'm pretty sure it was Ryzen. So just coming from outside the UFC, who was a champion, right? Could he step into the main event? Of course he could. He was a champion, right? So, be interesting to see what happens with this main event in general, right? Kobe probably won't want to fight on 1 month notice against Rachmanov, right? But I mean, for a main event, right? He might want the attention, might want to they'll probably be for a belt, right? Not obviously not the official belt, but probably like a interim belt. I'm assuming is what's gonna happen, right? Because even Bilal mentioned that they'll probably do a interim fight while he's healing from his foot infection. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see when that happens. If it even happens, because I'm willing to bet Usman's getting the same phone call, right, or doing the same thing with this news that Bilal pulled out. So that happened like a month ago as well. So I mean I'm not sure, right? UFC is probably gonna try to do something. Maybe this month. I bet they just moved Pantoja and Kai Askarov to the main event and then just this scrap this fight and then try to reschedule Shavkat as soon as possible. Obviously, this is another big same weight class right the following week. Ian Gary versus Buckley. That'd be an interesting fight. Because I'm willing to bet that the winner of this fight is going to call for a title shot as well, right? So maybe they do if no one like if it's a quick finish, and Ian Gary gets a quick finish or Buckley gets a quick finish, then maybe they'll do Shavkat versus him while Bilal's healing up, or maybe Bilal just wants to wait for that rematch or maybe Shavkat wants to wait for that rematch with Bilal, and just. But it's interesting to see. It's good to see that the welterweight division is kind of trying to be more active, right? Obviously, Colby Covington hasn't fought in a year. He's not a super entertaining fighter, but he gets people to watch his fights, right? Um, maybe just to see him lose, right? But he's still getting people to watch his fights, and personally, I think he's a good fighter. He has a good gas tank, right? He's someone that is kind of honed their specialty in the division, right? Where like someone that can constantly wrestle, constantly shoot, right? Just kind of break you down and win fights like that. But and some people have found the recipe to beat him, right? Like Leon Edwards, like Guzman, right? Yeah, but it'll be interesting to see what happens with the welterweight division after this, right? Or with this news, right? I would love to see Shavkat versus Kobe. We saw Shavkat kind of dig deep with Jeff Neal and get the submission. Who's another? I mean, Jeff Neal's a striker, right? But um, it'll be interesting to see what happens with against a wrestler, right? He hasn't really fought, if I'm remembering right, he hasn't really fought anyone that has that specialty like, I mean, you could say Neil Magny, right? But yeah, I don't think Neil Magny's at the same level as Kobe, right? I think Kobe has a elite. He's kind of at that elite wrestling skill, right? I think Kobe, Magny is just kind of well rounded, but Kobe would be more of like an elite wrestler. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see, right? Even with Bilal, right? This fight would have been interesting to see what happens from this fight because Bilal is kind of again like another elite wrestler. And then we saw what happened with him and Sean Brady, who was another elite wrestler, right? And Bilal got a knockout versus Sean Brady. So Shavkat's kind of more. He is an elite wrestler, I would say, but he's also a really like good kickboxer. And so it'd be interesting to see what happens from that, right? What can Bilal do to Shavkat? Um, what's Shavkat going to do to Bilal, right? Who's going to dictate the pace of that fight, right? It would have been such an interesting fight to see. I'm sure it'll get rescheduled, but in the meantime, I would love to see Shavkat versus Colby, right? Just to see what happens, or even Shavkat versus Usman. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Leave a like on this video for Ella being a co-host of this video, right? Trying to get some attention just like Kobe. Um, just let me know in the comments below what you guys think about the whole situation, right? Let me know who you guys want to see Shavkat fight, or even who you want to see Kobe fight. And then what you guys think about in general UFC 310. But thank you guys so much for watching, and see you guys next time. Peace.